fascinating. It's an article from Era of Light, published June 21st, 2025. The title is An Important Reminder for Awakening Humanity, and it's by Patricia Cota-Robles. And our goal here really is to unpack some of the, pretty powerful ideas in this piece about a global consciousness shift. It talks about our interconnectedness, and it specifically mentions something called a unique awakening. It really seems to tackle those big fundamental questions, doesn't it? Like, who am I? Why am I even here?
It absolutely does. And what's interesting is how it tackles them. The source claims to channel this perspective from the company of heaven and also beings of light in the realms of illumined truth. So it's presenting itself as guidance from a higher collective, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, it describes what's happening now as an unprecedented divine intervention. The aim, according to the text, is to give us sacred knowledge and divine wisdom to help navigate these times.
That's quite a frame. And it makes a point relevant to you listening right now. It suggests that even if these ideas aren't totally new to you, just engaging with them, adding your light, as it says, will exponentially benefit those who are uniquely awakening. So what does it mean by this unique awakening? Is it different from just, regular spiritual growth?
That's a good question. The article paints the unique awakening as a particularly intense phase, like an acceleration. It suggests people experiencing this might feel heightened sensitivity to energy, maybe, and a real deep dive into meaning beyond just the everyday stuff.
Right.
So they're becoming more attuned, feeling a stronger sense of purpose, perhaps wanting to contribute or serve in some way.
So less of a general trend and more of a specific, deep personal journey for some individuals. And the article promises insights into why things feel so challenging globally right now. And, importantly, some guidance on how to handle it all.
Exactly. It says it'll reveal some surprising reasons why global challenges seem to be getting worse.
Okay, let's get into that. How does the source explain this feeling that things are intensifying, maybe even getting worse?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting, perhaps even counterintuitive. The source argues that the perception that things seem to be getting worse day by day is actually an illusion.
An illusion? How so? I mean, the challenges feel pretty real.
Right. It's a bold claim. The explanation given is that this perceived worsening is caused by more light, not less. Specifically, an increasing flow of what it calls the light of God into the earth.
More light causing problems. How does that work? What is this light of God in this context?
The article described it as this fundamental, pure, transformative divine energy, an influx. And as this light intensifies, it activates something called the immaculate concept within everything.
The immaculate concept. Okay, what's that?
It's presented as the inherent blueprint of perfection or divine potential that exists within all life, within us, within situations, within the planet itself. So the key idea isn't that the light is causing the problems. Instead, the light is illuminating, pushing everything that conflicts with that divine potential, pushing it to the surface. So it can be seen, transmuted, and healed.
Okay. So the chaos, the negativity, the stuff that feels worse, it's actually old stuff being brought into the light. Almost like cleaning house. You make a bigger mess initially while you sort things out.
That's a great analogy. Yes. Or like a fever, like you said earlier in our prep, maybe. It feels bad, but it's the body fighting infection part of the healing process.
Right.
The source frames it exactly like that. A purging. Making the hidden visible so it can finally be dealt with. A tough phase, yes, but ultimately transformative.
That really does reframe things quite dramatically. Which leads us to our own role in all this, right? Our personal power.
Yeah.
The article strongly emphasizes this. It reminds you, the listener, that you are an empowered and deeply loved child of God. And more than that, a wondrous gift to this planet. Just your being here matters.
And it builds directly on that sense of significance.
Hey,
It talks
right.
about an awesome responsibility we all carry. It actually states every thought, word, action, or feeling we have changes the dynamics of the entire universe.
Wow. Every single one. That's huge. Cosmic ripples from just a thought or a feeling.
It's a profound claim about our interconnectedness and impact.
And it puts it very directly, doesn't it? It says, at any given moment, we are either adding to the light of the world or adding to the shadows. So how do we manage that? Especially when we're faced with all this stuff surfacing, this perceived chaos. How do we consciously choose light?
The guidance is quite direct there, too. It highlights that when we hate anyone, it is the same as hating ourselves. And this applies to any prejudice, any discrimination. It's like directing that negativity inward towards ourselves. Because, according to the source, fundamentally, there's no such thing as us and them.
Ah,
So the practical advice seems to be, try to see that immaculate concept, that divine spark, in everyone, even when it's really hard, even when their actions seem far from divine. Choosing understanding, or at least striving for it, choosing love that's adding to the light.
okay, so as we start to bring this together, the absolute core message seems to be that profound truth. We are one with all life, and that love is all there is. This idea that all of creation, every part of it is like a cell in the body of God, everything completely linked, interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent.
Exactly. And tying back to the challenges, that powerful explanation, the seeming worsening is an illusion. It's caused by more divine light activating that inner potential, that immaculate concept, and pushing everything unlike itself, all the conflicting frequencies, to the surface for transmutation, for healing.
Which brings it right back to you listening, your personal power, the reminder that you're an empowered and deeply loved child of God, a wondrous gift carrying that awesome responsibility. Because every thought, every feeling, every action matters, universally, adding either to the light or the shadows.
And that challenging reflection point, hating anyone, judging anyone based on us versus them, is essentially hating ourselves, because that division isn't ultimately real.
So the final thought here, maybe the takeaway for you to consider, the source talks about mastering our responses, choosing love, choosing positivity, even when it's tough. And then when the time is right, sharing that understanding, that cup of knowledge with others who are ready. Says the effect of doing this, our experiences and our sharing will be exponential. So the question to ponder is, what really opens up for us, for the world, if we truly start living from that truth of our oneness every day, in every interaction? Something to contemplate perhaps within that profound knowing, when what the article calls the divinity of your heart flame. Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.